How you guys doing? It's 514 Mystic from BookieBullies.com, and welcome to Breaking Down the Books. Now, yesterday we actually had a pretty good day. I gave you guys 7 picks. Out of the 7, 5 of them hit. I gave you the Tampa Bay Lightnings to cover the spread, the 1.5, which hit. I gave you the under in the Pittsburgh versus who did Pittsburgh play? The Pittsburgh versus Sabres game. That also hit the under 5.5. Gave you the Boston money line, the Boston under. Both of those plays hit. Where we failed, or where I failed rather, was the Minnesota Wilds game, which went under. Sorry, it went way over the 5.5 that I gave the under for, and obviously the Nashville Predators capitalized and they won that game. I also gave you one play in baseball, which was the last game of the night, and that was the Dodgers to cover whatever you threw at me, which included the money line, the spread, or whatever additional spread that might have been there. They covered with flying colors. Today we're going to move on to the short slate of NHL games, where we're going to start with the Toronto Maple Leafs versus the Columbus Blue Jackets. Now, we got Anderson versus Corpusalo, and Columbus actually 8-3 in their last 11. They went under in 5 of their last 6. They're 8-3 straight up at home, and the game went over in 4 of their last 6 versus Toronto, which is a pretty interesting stat. Over in 4 of their last 6 against Toronto, and Toronto actually went under in 5 of their last 7. Now, mind you, all these stats are based on their last games, including last season. So we can't just take this to heart and assume that it's going to be more of the same, because we have a new look Columbus Blue Jackets. They're not rolling with their previous goalie in Proboski. He's actually moved on to pastures new. He's playing on the Florida Panthers right now, and that's not even relevant to this game. But obviously, we're rolling with Corpusalo here. And Pierre-Luc Dubois wasn't too pleased with his EA Sports rating for some reason. His EA Sports NHL 2K20, or sorry, NHL 20. He wasn't too pleased with his rating of 86, I believe it was, they gave him. And he felt like he deserved more. And I mean, shoot, a lot of guys, I think 85 is pretty good, and like some of you might not even know who Pierre-Luc Dubois is, but like he's nice, like he's a hometown guy from Rimouski, really good. There's a lot of guys on the team who's trying to make a name for themselves, but Toronto is a more seasoned team. They got a great first line, second line. They got a big four. You know what I mean? And they actually played on Wednesday, so it makes them a little bit more seasoned. The nerves got out there. The butterflies are gone, and I'm gonna have to stay away from this game. Just being smart. I'm gonna watch to see what happens with Columbus. I wouldn't want to bet against them just because I'm not sure what it's gonna look like with the new look. Maybe the coaches put the battery in these guys back, and maybe they come through with some firepower. I don't know. So I'm just gonna watch this game, and I'll be able to cap it moving forward. So I'm not gonna give a play in this game. We're gonna move on forward to the Winnipeg Jets versus the New Jersey Devils, where we got Brossoit versus Corey Schneider. I'm a big fan of Corey Schneider's. I think he's a very underrated goalie. I think he does good work. He could play on his head when he really needs to, and some guys don't give him credit for it. But like that's just my personal feelings. This sport and this game, this investing stuff has nothing to do with feelings. You really have to go with what you know, what's gonna happen, and try to make your predictions based on the best possible outcome and all the information given. So with that said, uh, Winnipeg's actually 5-0 straight up versus Jersey in their last 5 games. They're 5-1 at the spread at home and 5-1 on the road versus Jersey, in which they're actually on the road today. Wink, wink. This is actually a good information to know. Winnipeg blew their game yesterday. They were actually underdog, but like they had a back and forth with the Rangers. Rangers showed out. They showed us that they're not anything to be sneezed at. They showed us that six different players yesterday scored on Winnipeg. I think they might be upset. I think they might come through with some vengeance. I'm not going to bet on Winnipeg. The same way I told you guys yesterday that Winnipeg should not be bet on because I can't possibly trust them with my money. I'm not going to bet on them again today. What I will do is, I think I'm going to give you the under in this game. And I'm going to give you the under because, well, I'll give you some motivation for the under. Jersey's actually 8-11 at the under at home. And they've actually gone under in 5 of their last 7 when playing Winnipeg. So these are interesting stats. And they got Corey Schneider at net, who, like I said, is able to play on his head. So we're going to have to see how these teams play. If they play a fast-paced game, if they play a slower game, if Winnipeg comes through with like some guns blazing attitude and they try to really take over stuff, we're going to have to see. I'm interested to see how it goes, but I'll give the under as a ballsy play today. And that'll be my official play starting this show. Moving on, we got the Washington Capitals versus the New York Islanders. So Washington has their first start and their NHL debut for their goalie today, which is Samsonov, sorry. And Samsonov is going to be facing Varlamov. And New York actually went under in 8 of their last 11 games. They went under in 4 of their last 5 games versus Washington. Washington's actually 6-3 straight up against New York. Basically the straight up win. And they actually pulled off the victory on opening night. Ovechkin is still dealing with a lower body injury, but he's actually going to be playing. They still have their regular injuries. Kuznetsov is still suspended for at least 2 more games, including this one. Uh, I don't know. It's gonna be a tough game because we're basically dealing with the old coach for the Washington Capitals. Barry Trotz is still gonna be he's gonna be at the helm here. Well, at the head of the team, and he might know how to defeat his team if they're not fully loaded. Washington is actually an underdog in this game. If I had to pick a side, I'm gonna go Washington. I don't like to just give plays blindly, but I would pick Washington in this game so they could start fast. They're actually they may be a little bit more seasoned again because they actually had their first game, and I'll give that as a second place. So I'll give Washington money line for tonight. Now again, these are all single picks. If I'm giving you these picks, it's not so that you could go and parlay them. I'm giving you these picks as single picks, and you do with them as you please. It might Washington is also underdog again today. They were underdog on Wednesday. They're underdogs again today. It's a dangerous play. I'm giving you a dangerous play here, Washington underdog, but I believe they pull this one off. I'll be willing to lose on that if it were to happen. Moving on, we got Vegas versus San Jose, where we got Marc-Andre Fleury versus Martin Jones. San Jose is actually 4-1 versus Vegas. The over went over in all 5 games that these teams faced each other, um, which is that's pretty big. Like, you know what I mean? All 5 games went over. Vegas actually 1-7 on the road, 8-3 at the spread versus San Jose. Now I could be a punk and give you guys the 1.5 for Vegas not to lose by 2 or more goals, but I'm going to give you the over in this game because I don't think Vegas actually pulls this one off. Although Flurry is rock solid and he's able to he's able to do what he really needs to do. I think Flurry is a championship goalie, and I think he'll be able to withstand some of the pressure. But I think that I think this game is gonna be no different than they've been in the past, and I think this game is gonna go way over. And that's pretty much it for the hockey. There's 2 baseball games today. Basically, well, there's three or not 4 baseball games, but 2 remaining baseball games from now. And I'll give start off with the Minnesota Twins versus the Yankees. So the Twins have they have Jose Berrios. They have Jose Berrios starting pitching versus the Yankees Paxton. Berrios actually has a 3.68 ERA and a 1.22 WHIP. Paxton has a 3.82 ERA and a 1.28 WHIP. Now, if you guys listen to these numbers, you would think that they're pretty similar, but the differential is the number of games that they actually played, which plays a big factor. Now, Paxton started in 150 games versus Berrios's 200 games. So those statistics, along an additional 50 games, would probably be drawn out to a lot better in the favor of the Twins. Both of these teams are actually going for history right now, and if I had to pick a side, I would pick the Twins, but I'm not going to give a play in this game. Like I said in the past, I'm not necessarily the best with baseball, but numbers are numbers and math is math, and I do what I got to do. So I'm not going to give you a play in this game. We'll move on from that to go to Washington versus the Dodgers. Now we got Stephen rather, Strasburg with a 3.32 ERA and a 1.02 whip versus badass money on the line Clayton Kershaw, which is the best bet in sports. Clayton Kershaw actually has a 3.05 ERA and a 1.04 whip. But if you guys know anything about this stuff, Clayton Kershaw is not good in the playoffs. He is not a very dependable pitcher in the playoffs for some reason or the other. I think this changes. I think that narrative changes. And I will never, I repeat, I will never bet against Clayton Kershaw. If I don't have a reasonable bet to put my money on, I will not bet against Clayton Kershaw. Okay? He's the best pick in sports. I'm sorry. If you want to make money in sports, and there's a reason for it. Like, there's a reason why he's always stupid favorite. If you want to bet a money line with the Dodgers, it's usually like a 115 or a 125, which is basically 15 cents on your dollar. I'm going to give you the Dodgers to win by the spread again today. We're going back to the well. The same pick as yesterday, except we're going with the best pitcher in baseball. My opinion. You baseball connoisseurs might be able to give better feedback as far as that goes, but I'm going to give you Clayton Kershaw for the win tonight at the 1.5. If you want an additional pick, sorry, I'll actually go back to that Yankees game. If you want to pick in that game, I think both teams will probably be playing very well. I'll give you the under the 8.5 on the points. So I'll give you the under 8.5 points in the Yankees game, and I'll give you the Dodgers to cover the 1.5. So going back down this board, sorry here, going back down this board, we have no play in the Toronto game. We got no play in the Winnipeg game. We got Washington. Sorry, no, we have the under in the Winnipeg game. We got Washington money line. We got the over in the Vegas game. We got the Yankees and the Twins under 8.5, and we got the Dodgers to win by the spread. So those picks will probably be posted on my Twitter. On Monday, you guys can start looking out for the site. The site is actually up, so you guys could go and check it out and just browse around, see what we've been up to. But on Monday, it will officially be updated at all times, and you guys can expect to get new content on a regular basis. Look out for me. Click that like button at the bottom. Subscribe, share, tell your friends about it. I'm giving away free picks. We're winning, and you can't argue with success. So, with all that said, don't bet what you can't afford to lose, and have yourself a good day. Stay safe and be good. Peace.